Hey yogis, I'm Nicole. Thanks for joining me today. Welcome back to my yoga time. Today's sequence is focusing on releasing tension and tightness in the shoulders and in the neck. And we are going to use the wall for a couple of postures here. So do move yourself close to the wall. That's where we're going to start off. So from a standing position, you're going to take your right arm behind you. Have your hand about the same height as the shoulder, if you can. Fingers are spread wide and press the pads of the fingers into the wall. From here, you want to turn the eye of the elbow to face the wall and then bring the shoulder down. Left fingertips can cross just in front of the body, and if you can, look over your left shoulder. Now, if you're finding this quite intense, you can step a little further away from the wall. The closer you are to the wall, the deeper it's going to feel. So this particular exercise is really good for the brachial nerve plexus. So it's a cluster of nerves around the shoulder area there. And we never want to stretch the nerves, but sometimes they get stuck and they need to be able to slide and glide. Often when they get stuck, we can experience a little bit of pain and our movement, our range of movement is inhibited. Let's take one more deep breath here. And release. Well done, yogis. Give the shoulders a roll. You might already be noticing that right side's a little more freer than the left. Changing sides when you're ready. Remember those 3 alignment cues. Pads of the fingers press into the wall. Eye of the elbow turns to face the wall. And then bring the shoulder down. Relax the jaw. See if you can slow the breath down just a little. And let's release. Give the shoulders a gentle roll. We're still going to stay on the wall for just one more pose. So this is a variation of our downward facing dog. So it's really a great option if you're nursing a shoulder or a wrist injury and you want to achieve that same sensation as your downward dog, that strengthening and stretching without exacerbating that injury. So you're going to take your hands to the wall, that shoulder width apart, or maybe even wider, depending on how you're feeling. Bring the body into a right angle shape. So if you can, those hips are above the heels. Fingers are spread wide. Now press into the wall as though you're trying to push it over. But then guide your shoulders back towards your hips. See if you can try to round the outer edges of your armpits down. Pressing into the pads of the fingers, especially the very base knuckle of your pointer finger. And ever so slightly, you might like to try and press those heels of the palms in towards one another. Now we're only here for a few more breaths. Option 1, keep your head as it is for a little neck release and exercise. As you inhale, lift the chin a little, the throat will move forward. Maybe you can take the gaze towards your hands. Then as you exhale, tuck in the chin and try and move the back of the neck up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lift the chin, move the throat forward, gaze lifts. Exhale, tuck in the chin, move the back of the neck up. Well done. One more. Stay with me if you can. You're starting to feel a little bit of heat building. And release, bend the knees. Coming off the wall. Give the shoulders another roll. Well done. One more standing posture and then we'll come to seated. So take those legs nice and wide. Outer edges of the feet are parallel to the short side of the mat, or you can take a slight pigeon toe depending on your feet. Arms out to the side. One more nerve tensioning exercise. Take chin mudra, connect index finger and thumbs, roll the wrists and shoulders forward and down. Try and move the elbows back a little. It's natural to feel a little heat or a little tingling. And then from there, lower the hands down. If you can, interlace the hands behind you. If you can't quite interlace the hands, then you could always use a strap instead. I want you to try and send the feet away from one another as though you're stretching the mat. Inhale, lift the heart, and as you exhale, fall forward, knuckles to point to the ceiling or thereabouts. And let's haar out the breath. Take a deep inhalation. Notice how the body responds. Feel free to turn the head from side to side. And then whenever you're ready, lower those hands down. You can walk your hands towards your right foot, transition into a lunge, step back and lower those knees to the floor. Let's come into a seated position. So if your knees permit, we're just going to cross the legs. If your hips are tight, you can always sit yourself up on a cushion or a yoga block if you have one. If your knees aren't happy here, feel free to straighten the legs, or you could even practice this seated sequence in a chair if that's better for you. Just taking a little twist here. Left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you. Gently press the hand down into the knee and try and lift the knee up into the hand. Inhale. And as you exhale, return to the front. Keep the hand on the knee. We're going to take a little side bend, so lean over to your left and press the heel of the right palm away. Just let the head hang. And then coming back to center. Bring the right arm in front now. Cross the right arm over the left. Bend your left arm. If you're nursing a shoulder injury on the right side, maintain this position with the arms. Bring the shoulder down and try to create resistance between the arms. Option 2, bend your right arm and either bring the backs of the palms together or take the fingertips to the right palm. Breathe into the shoulders, behind the heart center. Feel free to drop the head and lift the elbows a little. And let's release. Right hand to the left knee, take your twist to the left. Return to center, lean over to the right, press the left heel away, let the head hang if you can. And coming all the way up, let's cross the left arm on top of the right this time, either keeping the left arm straight or taking the full bind. You might like to hold it still or maybe lift the elbows, maybe lift the gaze or lower the gaze. Feel free to move around. Find your sweet spot. Just be sure to breathe deeply. And release those arms down. Well done, yogis. Give those shoulders a little bit of a roll. Hopefully you found a little more space in the neck and the shoulders. Thank you for practicing with me today. Please do feel free to make any class requests in the comments below if there's a particular pose or a particular part of the body that you'd like to work on. Wishing you a lovely day. Namaste.